Hello everybody and welcome to Core Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class or have never taken a yoga class before, it's structured much like any other exercise class. We start with a warm-up, building some heat in the body, warming up our core for our practice. Then we move into the bulk of the flow where we're moving around a bit more on the mat. Our body heat is up, our heart rate is up, and then we have a cool down where we slow down our movement, slow down the breath, and we end on our back with a final rest period where we remain in stillness for 2 to 3 minutes. That's the biggest difference than other exercise classes. And during that time that we're laying flat on our back, we're sort of getting out of our physical body and paying more attention to what's going on in the inside, mind and spirit. So yoga is not just about a physical practice. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as we're going through the sequence. Before we start, I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body, take breaks if you need to. At any time, if something doesn't feel quite right for your body, you know you better than anybody else. Skip things if need be, and always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. So today we're going to get started laying on our back because I think it's been a while. So your feet are going to be facing towards the front of your mat, and you're going to lay down flat on your back with your knees bent, feet to mat. Arms are out at your sides, palms face up. You can let the knees fall together for now. Drop your low back flat to the mat. Help lengthen the low back. And take a few deep breaths into your chest. We're going to start here with some deep conscious breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Few more deep breaths here. And then breathe normally, however your normal pattern of breath is. Draw your right knee in towards your chest and place your hands on the back side of your thigh. Extend the leg up towards the ceiling, pressing out through the heel until you get a nice stretch on the back side of the leg. We'll start here just loosening up the muscles in our legs. Pressing out through the heel nice and strong. The leg does not have to straighten completely. And just breathe here through the stretch. Release the leg into figure 4 so that that ankle will cross over your left knee. So if you look down at your legs, they should look like an upside down 4, and arms can be down at your sides. Now we're focusing a little more on the hip here. You might feel plenty of sensation right here, and that's okay. If you like a little more sensation, you're going to float the left foot off the mat, flexing the feet, keeping them in line with the knees. And if you floated that foot off the mat, you can thread your arms through and hold on to the back of the left thigh for some support. And we'll take a few breaths here, loosening the muscles around the hip. Then gently release, returning both feet to the mat. Left leg extends up towards the ceiling, pressing out through the heel, holding on to the back of the thigh. Taking a few breaths here. Now crossing the ankle into figure 4. And repeating whatever you did on the opposite side. If you stayed here, stay here. If you floated the foot on the opposite side, do the same thing. Flex the feet, ankles in line with the knees. Slowly release, returning both feet to the mat. And draw both knees in towards the chest, pulling them nice and close to the body. Place your hands on the back side of your thighs and start to rock forwards and backwards until you gain enough momentum to rock yourself into a seated position. Place your hands at your sides and tilt your head over to the right, so right ear over to right shoulder. Lift the head through center and let the head fall over to the left. Working with the neck here. Let's go up and over, back to the right. Back over to the left. Then lift the head through center. Now lowering chin down towards the chest. Tilting chin up towards the ceiling, still working with the neck. Chin back to chest, one last time. Then chin up towards the ceiling. Then look straight ahead. Extend your left arm up to the ceiling, stretch through the tips of the fingers, create some length on the side of your body, and find a slight side bend over to the right. Keep the belly active, belly button drawing in towards the back side of the body. And be careful not to crunch onto your right side here. We still want some length on the right side of the body as well. Inhale to lift the left arm back up to ceiling, and as you exhale, lower the hand down to the floor. Right arm straight on up, reach through those fingertips nice and long, turn on your core and add a side bend, holding here. Inhale to bring the arm up to ceiling and exhale, hand to floor. Come into a tabletop position on the hands and the knees, wrists stacked under shoulders and knees stacked under the hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers and extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes. Heel in line with hip, in line with shoulders. Draw your belly in to flatten the back. Now give me a crunch, drawing right knee in towards the chest, rounding the spine, pulling the knee up nice and high, drawing the belly in and stepping the foot into lunge, ankle below knee. If you can't do that hands free, grab onto your foot and place it into alignment. Draw the breath in through your nose as you lift right arm up towards the ceiling and draw the belly back towards the spine. Exhale out through the mouth, fingertips come down to the floor. 2 more times. Inhale, right arm up, draw belly in, foot stays flat to the mat. Exhale, fingertips down towards the floor. Nice and slow. Last time, deep breath in through the nose as arm comes up. Slow exhale out the mouth as fingertips find the mat. Extend your right leg behind you, point through those toes, keep the leg active and return to tabletop. Left leg extends, heel in line with hip, flat in the back. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, around the spine, pull the knee up nice and high, step the foot or place it into lunge. Draw the breath in through the nose, left arm comes up to ceiling. Exhale out the mouth, hand returns to mat. 2 more times. Deep breath in to bring the arm up, draw the belly in, squeeze it in. Exhale, hand to mat. Last time, breath in, we're warming up that core. Exhale, hand to mat. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip, and return to tabletop. Round the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. Then slowly lift and arch the spine as you gaze up to ceiling and to cow. 2 more times, rounding the spine back to cat. Lifting and arching to cow. Back to cat, last time, tucking the chin into chest, drawing belly in, then lifting, arching the spine. Return to tabletop and plant your hands flat to the mat. Bring elbows down to the mat, stacked under the shoulders, palms face down towards the floor, and let the head hang heavy. Settling into puppy pose, lengthening the spine, deepening the breath. This here is option 1 for your rest period throughout the class. Option 2 is child pose, sending your hips all the way back to your heels, resting your forehead to the mat. Take a few breaths here. If you're not comfortable in child's pose, revert back to the previous pose, puppy. One or the other will be your rest throughout the class. We'll finish our warm-up here with some nice deep breaths. Deepen your breath. Take advantage of this moment of stillness before we pick up our pace. And let's all meet back in tabletop. Wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers once again. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, preparing for our tabletop crunch. We draw the knee in towards the chest, round the spine, pull the belly in, and step the foot into lunge. Right toes are tucked onto the mat. We'll lift that knee into the air as we lift up to the pointer and middle finger, sending our chest forward. Left knee is stacked over the ankle. We'll step up to half lift, so right foot steps up to meet the left. I flatten my back till it's parallel to the floor, hands at my shins. Shoulders draw away from the ears. Lower to fold by bending the knees so that my belly can make contact with my thighs. I let my arms and head hang heavy towards the floor. Shake the head a few times, yes and no here. Make sure that neck is nice and relaxed. One vertebrae at a time, we'll round the spine up to a standing position. Take your time and let your chin come up from your chest, the very last. Once you're standing nice and tall at the mat, give me a deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at our sides and overhead. Exhaling out through the mouth, bringing hands together, down through heart center and down at our sides. So we're gonna start to move into our flow now. I'm gonna demonstrate our plank sequence for the week. Every week we have a new sequence. So I'm gonna demo first, and then you guys, we're gonna tie it into the sequence together. So watch me this first time through. We're gonna start in a plank position, a traditional plank. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Shoulders are stacked underneath or over the wrist. And we have a nice line from shoulders to hips to heels. So you don't want your hips too low, and you don't want hips up high. Even if you've done plank a million times, take a look and just check your alignment. So I'll always give a countdown before we start, something along the lines of plank sequence in 3, 2, 1. Today we're gonna slowly lower both knees to the mat, nice and slow, keeping our back flat and our belly drawing in. Then we'll lift one knee and we'll lift the other. The key here is to move slow so that we engage the core. So we lower the knees. We lift and lift. Lower the knees. Lift and lift. We'll keep that pace. So we'll do it 3 times. After the third, we'll lower down to forearm plank. Check your alignment. Same thing. We'll hold for 5 seconds here, and then we'll release to our bellies. So as I said, if you start to feel tired, as we're going to do that multiple times throughout the class, you can always take a break whenever you need. Listen to your body. It's the important thing to do. So now let's start to tie that into our sequence. Make sure you're standing at the top of your mat with feet hips width distance apart. Stand up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders down your back. Take some deep breaths. And on your next inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Gaze up to ceiling. As we exhale, we'll lower to forward fold, bending the knees, bringing contact belly to thighs, arms and head hang heavy. Slowly rise to half lift, flattening your back, hands to shins. Then step into a plank position. Bend your knees and plant your hands. We'll start our first plank sequence in 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, lift and lift. Lower the knees. Lift and lift. Last time to lower. Keep that core nice and active and controlled. Lift and lift. Find your forearm plank. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release to the mat. Tops of feet to mat. Hands under shoulders. Elbows pointing up towards the ceiling. We'll lift the chest off the mat into baby cobra.
You should be able to float your hands off the mat. Make sure you're using the strength of your core and your belly. And then we'll press to our rest position. So that's either your child's pose or your puppy, elbows to mat, whatever feels best in your body. We'll take a few moments of rest here. Deepen your breath whenever we come to our rest position. Slowly find your way back to tabletop and lift up to the tips of the fingers. Preparing for tabletop crunches. Extend your right leg behind you, heel in line with hip. Draw that knee in towards your chest, around your spine, pull the belly in, step the foot into lunge. Left toes tuck onto the mat. We'll lift that knee into the air, lifting up to pointer and middle finger, drawing the belly in. Step up to half lift, flattening your back, hands to shins. And lower to fold, belly to thighs. Bend those knees if you need to make contact with belly to thighs. And we'll round our spine up to standing, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to take that 2 more times through. Your next inhale brings those arms back up overhead. Exhale finds the forward folds, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flatten the back. And find your plank position, plant those hands, step back, check your alignment if you haven't done it yet, and we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Knees lower, lift and lift. Here's 2. Lift and lift. 3, lift and lift. Find your forearm plank for 5. Don't hold your breath. And release, hands under shoulders. Inhale to lift your chest, baby cobra, shoulders behind the heart. And exhale to your rest position, puppy or child's pose. Deepen the breath. Take advantage of this stillness. Slowly rise back to tabletop, lifting up to the tips of the fingers. Left leg extends behind you, pointing through the toes. Give me a crunch, knee to chest around that spine, and step your foot into lunge. Right toes tuck onto the mat. Lift the knee into the air. Step up to half lift, flattening your back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to standing. We've got 1 more time through. Take your time on the rise up. Deep inhale to lift those arms overhead. Exhale out the mouth into forward fold. Rise, half lift, flatten your back. Step into your plank position. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Knees lower. Lift and lift. Here's 2. Lift and lift. Take 3. Lift and lift. Forearm plank. We're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra. Exhale to your rest position and deepen your breath. Slowly rise back to tabletop, lift up to the tips of the fingers. So in our tabletop crunches, if you want to make them a little more difficult, you can try with the hands flat to the mat. So extend your right leg behind you. If you're making it difficult, hands are flat now. We're going to take a crunch, right knee to the chest, round that spine, get the foot into lunge. If the hands were flat, you'll notice that you need to round your spine a little bit more. Pull your belly in more to find that lift to step the foot through. Let's step up to half lift, hands to shins. Lower to folds, belly to thighs. And slowly rise up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Feet or hips width distance apart. Lift your arms straight out ahead so that your palms are about in line with your eyebrows. We'll settle into chair pose, so I'll bend my knees and take a seat like I'm sitting in an imaginary chair. Tucking my tailbone under, keeping my chest and arms lifted. I'm gazing up, I'm activating my core, I'm holding here, and then I'm falling into forward fold. Belly comes down to thighs. Rise to half lift, flatten your back. Step into plank, then lower the knees to tabletop. Preparing for some tabletop crunches. You're lifting up to the tips of the fingers or leaving hands flat for a challenge. Extend your left leg behind you. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll crunch. Knee to chest, round your spine. Inhale and extend the leg behind you. We're going to take 2 more times. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest, round that spine. Pull the belly up. Inhale to extend. Exhale, knee to chest. We're going to hold this one here, but don't hold your breath. See if you can lift that knee a little bit higher. Draw the belly in a little bit more and get that foot into lunge. Lift the right knee off the mat, lifting up to the tips of the fingers if you're not there already. Bring your hands to your thighs and then extend your arms overhead into Anjaneyasana. Left knee is stacked over the ankle. You're on the ball of the right foot. Take a few deep breaths here into your chest. Open into 5-pointed stars. So we're going to turn and face the right side of the mat, plant our feet flat, and lower our arms down to shoulder height. Turn your left foot forward to face the front of your mat. And bend the knee so ankle stacked right below the knee. We'll lower into side angle, so elbow comes down to thigh and right arm comes up to frame the ear. We have a nice long line from the tips of our fingers down to our right heel. Right ribs are reaching high towards the ceiling. We're drawing belly in. We're strengthening our core here as we hold. Deep breathing into the chest. We'll slowly rise back to standing, straightening the leg, arms at shoulder height. Then bend the knee again, left knee stacking over the ankle. We'll windmill the arms down into a lunge position. Right heel lifts off the mat. Step back into plank and prepare for our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Lower, lift, and lift. Here's 2. Lift, lift. Here's 3. Lift, lift. Lower to forearm plank and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Belly to mat and hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale to baby cobra, wrapping shoulders behind the heart. And exhale to your rest position where you take a moment of stillness and deepen your breath. Taking note of how you feel in your body. Having no expectations, just recognizing things for what they are. Slowly come back to a tabletop position, preparing for tabletop crunches. Extend your left leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, and step the foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to standing. Lift the arms, wrist in line with eyebrows, and we'll settle into chair pose. Hips come back, knees bend, tailbone tucks under. Keep your arms lifted, your belly active. We're holding here, don't hold the breath. And then fall into forward fold, belly to thighs. Rise to half lift, flatten your back. Step into a plank position and lower the knees to tabletop. Preparing for tabletop crunches. Extend your right leg behind you. Give me a crunch, knee to chest as you exhale. Inhale to extend, 2 more. Exhale to crunch, knee to chest. Draw the breath in as you extend the leg. Last time, exhale, drawing the knee in, holding here, but don't hold the breath. See if you can lift that knee a little higher and get the foot into lunge. Lift the left knee off the mat. Bring hands to thighs and extend the arms overhead. Anjaneyasana, holding here. Deepen the breath. Open to 5-pointed star, facing the left side of the mat, feet flat and arms at shoulder height. Right foot turns to face the front of the mat. Bend the right knee, stacking it over the ankle and lower into side angle. Elbow down, free arm frames the ear. Left ribs are reaching high towards the ceiling. Core is on. Holding here, don't hold the breath. Slowly rise back to standing, straighten the leg and lift the arms to shoulder height. Bend the right knee one last time and windmill the arms down to lunge. Left heel lifts off the mat. Step back into a plank position and we'll take our sequence in 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees, lift and lift. Here's 2. Find the lift. Here's 3. Lift the knees. Find your forearm plank. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra, and exhale to your rest position. Deepening your breath. Taking a moment to yourself. Slowly find your tabletop position, preparing for one more crunch. Extend your right leg behind you. Draw knee in towards chest and step the foot into lunge. Slowly step up to half lift, flattening your back. Lower to folds, belly to thighs. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll rise to standing. Can be a nice deep breath in through the nose, arms out at your sides, overhead. Exhale out to the mouth, bringing hands together, down through heart center, down at your sides. 2 more times. Deep breath in to lift the arms up. And slow exhale out the mouth to bring arms back at your sides. Last time, breath in. On your exhale, we'll find forward fold this time. Belly back to the thighs. We'll take a few breaths here. Let's take a ragdoll variation, grabbing onto opposite elbows, allowing gravity to lengthen our spines a little more. Shift the weight into the balls of the feet, but don't let the heels lift off the mat. Keep low belly drawing in. Deepen the breath. Rise to half lift, flatten your back. Step into your plank position where we'll take our last set of plank work in 3, 2, 1. Knees lower, lift and lift. Lower, lift, lift. Last time. Lift the knees and find your forearm plank. Last time, we're gonna hold for 15 seconds. I've already started counting. If you're tired, you're more than welcome to lower down to your belly now. We're all gonna get there eventually. We're holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Lay all the way flat on your mat. Turn your head so you can rest on one cheek and bring your arms down the sides of your body, palms face up. Bring the big toes to touch, but let the heels fall out to help relax the low back. And we'll take a short intermission here on our bellies. Maybe close the eyes. as we start to wind down the practice. And just focus on your breath. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat. And we're going to turn our hands so their palms face down towards the floor. As we draw the breath in through the nose, we'll lift the chest, pressing down and back on our hands, using our core to hold us up. And then we'll slowly release, bringing our chest back down to the mat. 2 more times, deep breath in, drawing the belly in, lifting the chest. Exhaling out through the mouth, bringing chest down to the floor. Last time, breath in, chest lifts. Exhale, chest lowers. Bend your knees and slowly windshield wiper the feet, letting them fall side to side, nice and gently. Relieving any tension we might have built up just now in our low backs. Then return your legs to the mat, place your hands back underneath your shoulders, and press to your rest position. If you're in child's, we'll take a rounded variation, bringing arms along the sides of the body, palms face up, shoulders melt down towards the floor. Then slowly rise and find a seated position with your legs extended out in front of you with feet flexed. Bend your right knee, placing your foot on the mat. Use your left arm to hold onto that bent knee, and we'll spinal twist to the right, placing our right hand directly behind us and gazing over our right shoulder. Left foot stays flexed. Spine stays long towards the ceiling and belly is slightly active, drawing in. Getting a nice stretch for the muscles around the spine, but also getting a little stretch for our core. Slowly unwind, returning forward and straighten the leg. Left knee bends, foot to mat. Right arm holds on as we twist to the left, placing our free hand directly behind us, gazing over our shoulder. Spine long and belly active. Slowly unwind and return to center. If you're not already sitting in the center of your mat, make your way there now. Then bend both knees. Place your hands on the back side of your thighs and sit up nice and tall. Start to walk the toes in close to the body. Keep the spine tall towards the ceiling, drawing the belly in. Option 1 is to stay right here, a little last bit of core work. Option 2 is to float the feet off the mat, heels in line with knees, into Navasana, chest stays lifted. Option 3 is to send the arms out at your side, palms face up. Find whatever option works best for you, and we'll hold here for a few breaths. Whatever position you're in, spine stays nice and long, chest sends forward. You don't hold the breath. If your arms are out at your sides, bring your hands back to the thighs. If the feet are lifted off the mat, we'll plant our feet down. And slowly round the spine so we can lay flat on our back. Straighten your legs so they're down the length of your mat. Draw your right knee in towards your chest into Apanasana, interlacing the fingers and holding below the knee, pulling the thigh nice and close to body. If that's uncomfortable on your knee for any reason, you can hold on to the back of the thigh instead. Deepen the breath. Then draw the knee out towards your right armpit, still keeping thigh close to body. Just adding a little stretch for the hip now. Gently release your hold, returning your leg to the mat. Left knee draws in, same thing, feet flex, thigh close to body. Draw the knee out towards the armpit, opening up the hip. And release, returning leg to mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest, feet side by side. Again, holding on below the knees or onto the back of the thighs, pulling the legs close to the chest. Breathing here as we relieve tension in our low backs, get a nice massage for our organs, keeping them happy and healthy. Now keep the knees drawn in towards the chest, but release your arms down towards the floor, out at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right into reclined spinal twist. So knees fall all the way over. They might not touch down to the ground, and that's okay. We'll turn our head to the left and take a few rounds of breath here. This is our last pose before our final resting pose. So I always suggest at this time to close your eyes. Starting to turn that focus inward. Draw the knees back to center and let them fall over to the left, nice and slow, as head turns to the right. Slowly draw the knees back to the center of the chest, wrapping your arms around them one more time. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, hold it at the top, lift your head to meet your knees, squeeze everything nice and tight, muscles in your toes, your fingers, your arms, your legs. And as you exhale, we'll release our hold on the body, laying flat on the mat, separating our legs and arms nice and wide. Take up as much space as you can. Let the toes fall out and palms be face up. Eyes are closed. We'll settle in here for our final rest period. The easiest way to relax our body and our mind is to focus on our breath. To follow every rise and fall of your chest.
relaxing the muscles around the brow. And imagine with every exhale, you release a little more stress from the body. You melt a little more onto your mat. You find relaxation. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back to your body. Then slowly roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side. Maybe use your arm to support your head. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into a seated position. As always, to finish class, we'll end with 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we're going to take a 4-count breath. So we'll inhale for a count of 4 and then exhale for a count of 4. If after that first round of breath, you thought that that pattern of breath came easy to you, I want you to extend that breath, that count, to 5 seconds instead. So let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have in the body. Start to breathe in through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, mouth, 2, 3, 4. Breath in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4. Last time, deep breath in, 3, 4, and slow breath out, 3 and 4. Take a second to thank yourself, thank your body, thank your mind for getting you through this practice. I'd like to thank you for letting me lead you on this practice. There's a light that exists within me that honors the light that exists within each and every single one of you. So thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the class. If you liked this class, a new version of it is released every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you're looking for something a little easier on the body, I teach a vinyasa yoga class, and that is released every Monday at 8 a.m. Please follow UMBC on Instagram, on YouTube. Keep up with our new content. We have new stuff coming out every single day. I hope to see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your week.